One afternoon, Anne spies Diana outside beckoning to her. Anne rushes out, and Diana tells her she is still forbidden to play with Anne, so she has come to say goodbye. They have a sentimental, melodramatic parting. When Diana cries that she loves her bosom friend, Anne says, "Nobody ever has loved me since I can remember." Oh, this is a ray of light which will forever shine on the darkness of a path severed from thee, Diana. Anne asks for a lock of Diana's black hair to keep as a memento. To combat her despair over losing Diana, Anne decides to return to school. There, she can look at Diana even though the two are forbidden to talk or play together. Anne's classmates welcome her back with open arms and little gifts. Some of the girls sent her plums, bottles, or copied poems, and two admiring boys, Charlie Sloane and Gilbert Blythe, pass her a slate pencil and an apple, respectively. Anne graciously accepts Charlie's gift but ostentatiously ignores Gilbert's offering. One day, to Anne's dismay, she and Gilbert are tied as top student, and Mr. Phillips writes both of their names on the board. A Canadian premier comes to Prince Edward Island to address a mass meeting in Charlottetown, about 30 miles from Avonlea. Mrs. Rachel loves political events, so she goes with her husband and Marilla. At home, Anne is studying, and Matthew is reading The Farmer's Advocate when Diana rushes into the house and cries that her 3-year-old sister Minnie May is sick with the croup, and neither she nor the babysitter know what to do. Matthew quickly harnesses the horse and goes for the doctor, while Anne and Diana rush back to the Barry house, Orchard Slope. Having cared for 3 sets of twins at Mrs. Hammond's home who all got croup regularly, Anne knows how to care for Minnie May. Matthew arrives with the doctor at 3 a.m., by which time Minnie May is sleeping peacefully. Later, the doctor tells Mr. and Mrs. Barry that Anne saved their daughter's life. Mrs. Barry comes to Green Gables the following day and apologizes for blaming Anne for the current wine incident. She invites Anne to tea and encourages her to be friends with Diana once again. Anne is thrilled by the news and pleased that the Barrys treat her like special company at tea. Anne explains to Marilla that in celebration of Diana's birthday, Mrs. Barry has agreed to let Diana invite Anne to a debating club concert and spend the night in the Barrys' spare bedroom. Anne can hardly contain her excitement, but Marilla declares that she cannot go because little girls have no business at late-night concerts. Matthew disagrees with Marilla's decision and tells her so until she relents and gives Anne permission to go. On the day of the concert, Anne and Diana take pleasure in everything from getting dressed to riding Diana's cousin's punk sleigh to listening to scholars recite poetry and sing at the concert. After the concert, they return to the Barrys' house. They change into their nightgowns, and Anne proposes that they race to the spare bedroom. The girls charge in and leap onto the bed, landing right on Diana's crotchety aunt, Miss Josephine Barry, who arrived for her visit unexpectedly early. Anne is disappointed at having to sleep with the toddler, Minnie May, rather than in the spare bedroom, but the following day returns to Green Gables happy and satisfied. Later, Mrs. Rachel reports that the Barry house has been in an uproar all afternoon. Aunt Josephine, angered at being awoken in the middle of the night, has decided to cut short her visit and rescind her offer to pay for Diana's music lessons. She is a rich old lady, used to being treated decorously, and will not listen to Diana's pleas. Anne wants to remedy the situation since she, not Diana, proposed the race into the spare bedroom. She goes to the Barry house and enters the old lady's room, terrified but bold, and begins to confess. The old lady is amused by Anne's elevated way of speaking. She agrees to give Diana her music lessons and stay the full month at Avonlea, under the condition that Anne talk to her at the Barrys and then visit her in town. Spring returns to Green Gables, bringing Anne's favorite ornaments of nature flowers. She tells Marilla stories about exploring nature with her school friends. On the day of her anniversary of arriving at Green Gables, Anne takes considerable care with her chores. Marilla leaves Anne in charge of the house because of a headache. In the evening, Marilla asks Anne to go to Mrs. Barry to get an apron pattern. Anne asks Marilla if she may delay the trip until morning. She explains that she and Diana, tired of their commonplace surroundings, have begun to pretend that the woods between their houses are haunted. But Marilla, always trying to rid Anne of the nonsense in her head, sends her on the errand. Anne returns from the Barrys' house out of breath from running and trembling with fear.